a sports dude.
Just the Cowboys. That's literally the only thing that he watches.
Yeah, it's like Maple Leafs.
And of course, him being a Cowboys fan, I have to, I try not to give him too much grief about being, in a battered wife situation, but that's basically what it is. It's no, we'll do better. We'll do better. We promise. Don't leave. Okay.
That sounds like the Leafs.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say,
that's a Leafs fan through and
same
through.
thing.
So
not this year though.
I don't have TV, so I don't get to watch sports anymore. It sucks.
I have Sportsnet.
Just that.
That's the only thing I've ordered.
Yep.
So I get to watch all the hockey games and stuff.
I thought about ordering that even just for this week coming up, but
I'll just log in.
Yeah.
I'll just log in for you.
I can. Yeah, I guess you could try that.
Then you get to test it out, see if it works.
Yeah, that might actually. I'll talk to you afterwards about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's totally legit and legal and stuff.
Yeah. They're the same area code. It's good.
I'm there when you were watching.
Oh, yeah, you do. You guys do have the same area. Yeah.
Size in the chat, and that's what he said. Go Cowboys.
Yay! Speaking of, I gotta go get my phone to keep an eye on the game.
Yes.
Good deal.
I have more than 10, by the way. I got a little carried away.
You got runner-ups.
I'm doing this like a game. I have like 15 things on my list.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be kind of maneuvering it like, okay, well, I may not throw out some of the bigger ones that I think y'all may throw out there, so I can throw in some of the smaller ones I think, may not be on there. But yeah, it was hard. And what's funny is literally I added like 3 of them in this last week. And I was like, no, that has to be on this list.
Yeah.
Like that was some good stuff.
I mainly I got like audiobooks and all that you guys may not have heard of, that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Nice.
Well, and then the big stuff too. I got some controversial stuff on there too.
Oh my.
Loved it or hated it.
Let's see. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yep, 15.
Right. 17.
That's hilarious.
17. I kept going like, ooh, and then writing it down. Solid categories.
That's awesome. Yeah, so was it last night before? Anyway, I'm going to bed and it's late, and I notice I get this, I guess it was last night or night before. Anyway, I'm going to bed and I get this notification on the Epically Geeky Twitter account.
Uh-huh.
And it's this guy, he's like, here's a video review I did of Epically Geeky's Matrix Leadership. And I'm like, okay. So I go to his YouTube channel and watched the video, and that's the one I posted. It was a good review. It was a nice review. And I see one of the comments was like, well, I wonder when it'll be back in stock. And so I looked, I was like, oh man, it ran out and it hasn't been a day yet. So it hasn't automatically renewed. Let me go ahead and renew it. I've had to renew it twice since then. I literally have, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like 17 orders to fill now.
That is amazing.
Wow.
That is amazing.
However,
except my printer is being a bitch.
Oh.
It is not, it's okay. So I had this problem. I don't think it's been a year ago, but I had this problem for a while there where what it was doing was the bottom layer, like it would do like nice and fill, nice and fill, nice and fill, nice and fill, and then like kind of sparse 2 or 3 lines and then go back to being nice and filled. So I'm like, okay, well then it's not that it's not leveled. That doesn't make sense. Because if it wasn't leveled, it would be like maybe this half is like sparse and then it gets to being nice and level, nice and filled in or whatever. And it's these stripes, and it doesn't matter. Like if I move the object to a different, area on the bed, it will still do it. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? And so the only thing I could figure out to do back then was to slow the printer way down, which that's not really an option right now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what has caused this again? So I've been troubleshooting it all day today, and I'm at this point, I just want it to be something simple. Like I really want it to be just like, well, that was kind of a bad roll of filament, and so I've got more filament on the way. It'll be here, I think, tomorrow. There's other parts that I can start printing to test. But it's just like, I really need this to start working, like, as soon as possible. Hey, Jen.
Jen!
Hi!
Get you pulled down here.
Hi, I can hear you guys. Still can't see you because it apparently takes 20 minutes to get logged into this thing.
Well, we can see and hear you.
Yes.
That's
So,
great because I am so frustrated right now.
Not as frustrated as I am with my printer. I'd put money on it. So, but then like I changed the software around a little bit and printed something, and it came out okay. It's still not perfect, but it's not. It's like, okay, this is at least sellable, but it's still like I don't know. At this point, like I'm done fixing shit. I'm tired of fixing shit. I just had to redo the motor in the washing machine or the dryer again. So, because apparently the used one that I ginked out of my dad's old one only had a couple of months left in it. So it basically got us through from October to December and then gave up the ghost. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done fixing shit. I just want shit to work now.
That's my whole life. I'm done with things breaking. Not that I can fix them, but they keep breaking, and I just For instance, I can only hear you through one ear. I don't know. I'm looking at seeing if there's a setting, but
that's the thing is I'm like it's only pegging the left.
Yeah,
the
it's
left
left for
analog
me.
signal.
So
But it was doing that for everybody.
Weird.
So it's not just me.
So
Okay,
it's not just you. It's got to be something with Skype.
Well, at least I
Yay,
can.
Xbox. I don't have a problem.
So I don't know what the hell's going on. But you know what? It doesn't matter. We'll still have the audio. If I just have to tell it to copy it to both left and right, to make it mono, that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mono's better than nothing.
So, Chris, when are we going on our road trip to Portland, Maine? Not Oregon.
Not Oregon.
When he said that was the first thing I thought was, man, flights really must be expensive in Canada if she's got to drive all the way to Oregon.
I know, right?
And I get to fly.
Yeah.
And then he clarified it was Maine. So
Yes.
Yes, it was.
down. Totally down.
Not
And
in
then
winter time though, because the weather will be horrendous.
So do we want to talk about that during the show?
what
Do you have your list of what you were getting us, or?
Oh no, I never really finished it because I just felt like such crap. So sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Sean was really looking forward to seeing what you were going to get him.
I know. Although y'all had some awesome gifts and ideas, and I was laughing the whole time.
Excellent. So I thought a pizza oven and a delivery bag would be just for you. So
Yeah, actually, Barb keeps wanting me to come and have pizza because they just got a pizza oven that cooks the pizzas in 45 seconds because it's like that hot. And
What?
it
Damn.
has to be outside, and it's got
yeah.
a smokestack and everything. But it's apparently super legit, and she wants me to come over and try it out. So
Didn't McDonald's have that?
Yes. They had the best
Oh, no.
pizza, man.
They did. Their pizza.
They did.
Wouldn't know.
See, Sean,
Never had it down here.
Yeah, Sean's confirming it for me. McDonald's pizza was amazing.
Pizza.
Yeah, it was good.
Must be a Canadian thing.
I know, right? All right, I'm gonna go grab a little bit more to drink real quick, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, you want to put the kettle on for tea or?
No, it's too warm in here.
All right.
I think I'm gonna. You want to open the window up a little bit more? Though?
Yeah, I can.
But yeah, also, Chris, if you want to come down and see the turtles, my sister has been because she used to live down there, and she said it was amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Baby turtles. Like in Moana, when she's like putting the little leaf to protect him. It was so cute.
They had this years ago when Ray and I were first married. We were looking for trips, and you could go for 2 months in Hawaii. This probably doesn't exist anymore. One of the islands. You could spend 2 months at a research station for $5,000 and do volunteer work, like counting the turtles that make it to the ocean and help.
You pay them to volunteer?
Well, it's room and board, right? So you're paying $5,000 to stay there, but
and your flight.
And your flight, yeah. But it was for 2 months.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So that's pretty good for Hawaii, considering how expensive it is. But yeah, I've always wanted to do that. Just hang out on a beach and watch little baby sea turtles.
I know.
And kick all the birds in the face while they try to
eat them. See, pulling something out of the oven back there?
No, he's got like 17 Etsy orders he has to fill. And his printer's being a jerk, apparently.
Oh. Well, that's
like
what you get when
you
you
get closer to the board. Like his neck extends.
Like a turtle. Oh.
That face isn't promising.
Mm.
They're calling him Yertle.
Yertle the turtle. Which, by the way, Jen, I love your handwriting. It is amazing.
Really?
Handwriting. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that card because, you know.
The Cyclops. I dug it. I just finished watching The Office, too, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah, he was only on like one episode. A friend actually told me about it. I didn't even know about him, but I was like, that's my card.
Yep.
I knew I wanted to do environmental, but I couldn't figure out what, and then I saw that and was like, all right.
Perfect. Did you want to come? You already said hi, didn't you? Yeah. Did you want to say hi to Jen? Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is it cold up there?
No.
No.
Plus
Hashtag
4
global
today.
warming.
Yeah, it was 4 today, which is
Not what it should be.
Hang on.
no. What is it?
I don't know what it is.
Hang on.
Probably 30
something, yeah.
7.
Yeah, it was
That
really
sounds pretty
good.
cold.
39, 40. Call
Yeah.
40.
It was really
Okay, I was close. I'm getting there.
Yeah,
I'm starting
yeah,
to get the
yeah.
conversion down a little bit.
Yes. We should be
That's still
better at
pretty
it.
Catching up with
cold
the
in my
rest of the
book.
world.
Yeah.
What, Sean?
Catching up with the rest of the world.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you guys, well, I guess Eugene would be the only one that saw, so the U.S. government's like in a semi-shutdown right now because the idiot.
Yeah.
And so somebody posted a meme that said,
Take months or years. I just read that. It could
Yeah.
take months or years.
oh my God. Somebody posted a meme that said, quick, while the government shut down, let's all switch to metric. It's like, yes, finally. We need to.
See, here's the thing. I still mostly think in feet and inches and stuff, but like whenever I'm designing stuff, it immediately switches over to millimeters. Like that's what everything I design is millimeters. So like, I'll have someone be like, this kills me. So on my Etsy shop, I can't tell you how many times I get someone send me a message. How big is this? It's 140 millimeters by 90 millimeters by 70 millimeters. And of course, I don't add on there, like it says in the description, right there. But
Maybe if you did it in centimeters, Eugene.
screw that. You know what? If you can't
100
carry
is
the
a lot.
decimal, then nuts to you. So part of
We
me
did
really
grow
wants-
up in America with millimeters and centimeters on the rulers, so that shouldn't be that difficult for them.
Did you put Bailey's?
I'm still 5'11". I don't know what that is in centimeters.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
I know
what,
how much I weigh in pounds, not kilograms.
I
Hey,
don't
we
know
could,
what
we
I weigh in
could, we
kilograms.
could use stones.
Oh, that's
Well, yeah.
really confusing.
What?
Do you measure in meters or feet, like your height?
So when
I use feet.
our construction world is all feet and inches.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
see,
well, we go
we
to the
drink out
hardware
of 2
store.
liters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how tall I am in centimeters, and I don't know how much
It's on
I
our
weigh
license.
in kilograms.
Our license.
There's certain things that, because
So
like we drink
173
2 liters here, but then gallons for some things, and it's like,
Yeah.
make up your damn mind.
100
Yes, thank you. At least pick one.
There's no way you're 175 centimeters tall.
173.
No, you're way taller than that.
Mhm.
What is 6'1" in centimeters?
Okay, Google.
Because I think I'm
Exactly.
170 centimeters almost.
Your gas is in
Sure,
liters, though,
180.
right?
Pardon?
Your gas is in liters.
Yes, it's in liters.
188.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
180. 180. No, 185 and a half. 185. There we go. Fuck. My car gets 3 hogs, head to the rod, and that's the way I like it.
How was your Christmas?
It was good.
Excellent.
It was good. It was fast. Lots of family,
Way
but it
too
was
fast.
done. But it was good though.
Did you go to
think
them,
got
or
to
did
see
they
Sean.
come?
Oh.
I
Did you
popped
go to
in on
family?
once.
Pardon, Jen?
Did you go to the family, or did they come to you?
Oh, we
Oh,
went
we
to them.
went.
They don't live very far.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
not
just easier
everybody
that
would,
way.
yeah, not everybody would fit in here. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
We are limited on space, and we have big families.
that way.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
we can pick and choose.
Oh darn.
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry, we just don't have the space for you.
And it was mostly my family that we were visiting, not yours.
Oh, we saw my family enough.
On
too.
Christmas Day, yeah.
And the other day, we went and visited Rebecca. And,
That was New Year's Day, though.
yeah. And the New Year's Eve, we
Yeah.
were there too. So.
I was so sick. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, New Year's Eve, yeah.
New
you
Year's Eve. Oh, I had a bad
She,
sinus
she
migraine.
passed out at 10 o'clock.
I did, and that was after a 4-hour nap
Mm.
I had that day. Yeah.
Damn.
So I went and I saw Sean for like a couple minutes.
So do you guys work
Could've
together?
stayed.
Is that
Coulda.
how you know each other?
No, they know each other through me and Sean's wife,
That's right.
Okay.
and we've known each other since before we had kids.
Oh, okay.
Because we used to work together at the grocery store. I was a cashier, and she worked in the pharmacy department at the grocery store. And I remember when she was pregnant with Patrick, their oldest, and she was one of the first people I told that we were eloping.
Oh.
She was asking what I was doing that weekend. Yeah, she was asking what I was doing that weekend. I'm like, I'm getting married. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, we're eloping.
Don't
Yeah.
tell anyone.
Yeah. Coming back on Monday.
I remember Deb giving you a whole bunch of pregnancy books when you were pregnant with Logan.
Yeah, she did that too. Cause Logan, I think, is like a year younger than Patrick, and she's sandwiched between Patrick and Catherine.
Because,
Yeah, but and then we had baby groups together, and then these guys work at that nuclear power station together, but different
Nice.
departments.
yeah, we don't get along at work.
Different.
The only way I get anything done in the rad department is going through Ray.
Yeah, well, hey, back to a UTL on Monday, so.
Oh, lucky you.
Yay!
It's stupid.
Yeah. Wash is done.
Mm-hmm. We had to wash our snow pants.
Yeah, so we went to McGregor today.
We
What?
did.
Went for a hike in McGregor.
Yeah, this afternoon. Fed the birds.
Snow?
No, there was
Not
barely
a lot of
anything.
snow at all.
It was mostly muck.
But a lot of chickadees were around, so
Lots of chickens.
hold out your hand and they.
You ever
Oh, that's
close
cool.
I got it!
it? Feathers.
I was gonna say that's why I pictured just a bunch of feathers just.
Let's make a pillow.
They don't have enough feathers. so-
No, they don't. They're pretty teeny.
I get a lot of them, that's all.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
fat though. They are well fed.
Yeah.
They're fat little chickadees, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, you can feel them land on your hand. It
Yeah.
was-
There's some weight to them, even though they're like that big.
I don't think their wings would hold them up too much longer.
Oh, that print.
They were flapping pretty hard. So.
Yeah. Little beast chickadees.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here so that I can.
Sean, go to bed.
Yeah, Sean can go to bed, and I can stay up all night working on my printer. Yay! All right, everyone's got their list, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And only 10 items, right?
Sure.
Yes, Eugene. I have 15, but hopefully somebody says them.
I'm guessing
only
Chris
no.
has 17, so I'm just saying.
I have 17, so I'm hoping some of mine are covered too.
Yeah.
I've got 12, so I'm sure that
Crap.
somebody's
I've got to think about my answer for the opening question real quick.
shit.
I didn't think about it. What was the most
what is that?
disappointing media you consumed this year?
Oh, yeah, you already know the answer to that.
Jesus.
You already know the answer to that.
I already know your answer. What was I most disappointed in? Oh, I know. I got my answer.
I
got my answer. I'm good.
I got to think about it a little bit.
Okay. Give you a moment here.
Shit, I totally forgot.
I did too until just now. I looked down. I was like, oh, that's right. We have an opening question. What is it?
The evening news, maybe?
See, but that's never mind. No. All right, I think I'm good.
Okay.
You think you're good?
Yeah.
All right. Apparently, Cyrus is leaving the stream, or is leaving to drive down to the Cowboys game so he can be the kicker for, I think, the other team. I'm not following this exactly.
Congratulations,
Seattle's kicker pulled his hamstring, so yeah, I guess he's going to run down there and see if he can be the kicker for Seattle. So,
you go.
Are we going to see the leg fly through the air like on The Simpsons?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. So, all right, because didn't it kick the ball and then kept going and then like kicked
and it kicked it again.
Yeah, kicked it again. Yeah.
I don't know if that's quite legal. Yeah. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome out to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 108. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what was the most disappointing media you consumed this year? Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Jennifer, what was the most disappointing media that you consumed this year?
This won't surprise you because you were there when I consumed this media, but Avengers Infinity War. I believe my exact words were, Marvel can suck a dick.
Yes, they were.
And yeah, I know it's all gonna be changed and different and blah blah blah, but the point is they put me through that emotional turmoil and I don't appreciate it, and I don't need more anxiety like that in my life, and that's all.
And that's fine. That's understandable. There's definitely been some media come out here in the last year or so that have kind of split the fan bases. So that's understandable. So, Ray, what was the most disappointing media you consumed this year?
So media in general, Twitter, just but because it's like the worst of humanity. But as for an actual thing that I sat down and watched, I felt like I wasted my time watching Predator. Predator, I had a hard time sitting through it.
The last 30 seconds
I didn't see
were
it.
great.
The last 30 seconds were great, but the whole thing leading up to that last 30 seconds was like, the hell? I don't know. It just seemed like it was. Yeah, that was probably the most disappointing one I sat down and watched.
Couldn't figure out how everything was in the same town. They seemed like they were 5-minute drive from anywhere that anything happened.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like all that. Yeah. Anyway.
Chris, what was the most disappointing thing that you consumed this year? Media-wise.
Media-wise. I'm finding Netflix really boring. I'm having a hard time. Yeah, and apparently there's a whole bunch of new rules that are going to be coming out, and a lot of Canadians will be canceling their subscriptions. I haven't read what, but I'm finding it really boring. And all I can think of, a movie that I actually sat down and watched and hated was Justice League. But I don't know if that came out this 2018.
No, but you did watch it.
But you did watch it this year, so.
Yeah, and I hated it really badly.
Okay, are Canadians... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the only thing I found redeeming, and it was only by a bit, was Jason Momoa. But only a little, and that's just because he's pretty.
Gotcha.
Are Canadians losing their mind over Bird Box like Americans are?
I won't watch it. I can't.
Oh, really?
I'll watch it, but I'm not stupid enough to do the challenge.
Oh, no. I mean,
what's the challenge?
People are driving with their eyes closed?
No,
doing things, with your eyes covered. Every day.
There is one little guilty pleasure, and it's the guy that's running around with his little kid who's like a 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old smacks into the wall.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh my god,
that's kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, I did watch it, and it was pretty good, but it is there's a lot of like anxiety because it's a thriller. So yeah.
I've been meaning to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. So, we have a new person joining us. He's been in the chat quite a few times, and has been wanting to be on the show the last couple of times, but things haven't worked out. Yet another Canadian, because I just can't seem to recruit people here in the States. So yay, outsourcing. Over. Sean, how are you doing, man?
Oh, living the dream. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah. What was the most disappointing media you consumed this year?
This year, the one that stands out the most is the movie Annihilation.
Really?
I absolutely hated that piece of crap. I'm sitting there watching the whole time and like, what's going on? And I love science fiction, and like the deeper the better. This was utter garbage. So yeah, that one stands out in my mind.
Was that the Natalie Portman one?
That was the Natalie Portman one. And what's funny is it almost made my top 10. Like I really enjoyed it. But like I said, that's one of the nice things about this show is to each their own, because I already disagreed with the one that Jennifer said.
Oh yeah, I disagree with that one too.
That's okay.
My most disappointing media consumption this year just happened within the last month, and it's going to be a bit of a spoiler alert for next week, but my most disappointing thing is going to be For the Win by Cory Doctorow. Yeah, not to give too much away, but I didn't care for the book. I'll leave it at that. So
I'm 25 pages in, and I had to stop reading it.
I'm halfway through.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, to each their own. Well, that being said, what we wanted to do was, like we did last year, we wanted to go through and talk about the best media that we did consume this year. Now, I did make sure to tell everyone that the list is supposed to be 10 long, 10 items. Most of us in the pre-show have already talked about the fact that we have more than 10 items. Yeah. So we may be kind of like leaning on each other to say, hey, there's this tentpole thing, and be like, yep, that one was on mine too, and then be able to cross it off and move on to something else. So with that said, would anyone like to go first? And this is not in any order. You don't have to say my 10th or whatever. This is just your list of 10 things. They do not have to be in any order. So, all right, I'll go first. Oh, go on.
Oh, yeah. I'll throw my first one out there.
All right, go ahead, Ray. What's your first one?
So, BuzzFeed started a new one for the YouTube channel, Unsolved. What was it called?
It's not Unsolved.
The Unsolved Network. Yeah, BuzzFeed Unsolved Network. They started up this year, or the very late last year, anyway. And I really enjoy their content. They go over different, not just horror sites, but also different things that are like crimes that were unsolved. And I love the two guys together, especially when they talk about the paranormal stuff, because the one guy just does not believe a single thing, and the other guy is right into it. And they've got a really good chemistry between the two of them. So
it's like Scully and Mulder, or
no.
She doesn't believe any of it, and he's all about it.
They're not
yes,
as cool.
but in a totally different way. It's,
Okay.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
as
I really enjoyed their take. And then the other cool thing is that this year they started sleeping over at certain areas that had paranormal stuff. And
Fuck that.
the one guy that is like all about it couldn't sleep, and the other guy's like, I had a really good sleep. So yeah, BuzzFeed, the Unsolved What Network is on my list.
Very cool.
Tried to go a little obscure.
Okay.
So I didn't write mine down where I have them in categories. So we went to a few concerts this year. That's media. That's
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So can I just list the 3 that we went to? Can I just do that all in one shot?
Sure, why not?
It'll count as the one. So we went to Imagine Dragons in June with the kids, which was awesome. We went to Foo Fighters in July, which was on our bucket list, which was amazing. And then my dad and I went to Mumford & Sons last month, which was awesome. And my dad's like the coolest dad on the planet.
Very cool.
Number 1.
I
Okay.
want to see them.
They're really, really good.
You know, I was actually really surprised by Imagine Dragons. They put on a really good show.
Good.
And at one point they went to the middle of the crowd, and they shut off all the lights, and it was just them in the middle of the crowd playing acoustic, and it was really good.
Oh, the lead singer from Mumford & Sons, he actually jumped off stage and actually started running through the crowd in the stands, and then actually ran through the floor seats and like stopped in the middle of the floor seats and just started singing. The security guys were going bonkers trying to keep up with him.
So since you're Canadian, I have to ask, have you seen Bare Naked Ladies in concert? Did I already ask you this? So they're coming to Texas again this year, and I have to go because I've missed them every year. And
they're good. They're really good.
I wanted to see them every single year. I love them so much.
Stephen Page back
Is Stephen Page with them?
He is. And who are they touring with?
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it. I heard
which
that.
is interesting because their lead singer Darius Rucker went country, so he's had a solo career. I guess he's going. Stuff. Yeah, I guess he's joining up to do a tour with them again. So excited.
I'd go to that for sure.
Well, Ladies has
fly down
with them. They're really good. We saw them like 13 years ago.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
Yeah, they were really good live. They're hilarious.
Oh, I bet.
Awesome.
I love their music in there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jennifer, what is your first thing on your list?
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. There's this new podcast, you guys, called Sustainably Geeky. And it's my favorite thing from 2018. Yeah.
I wonder why.
If you haven't heard, shameless plug, Chris and I are on the show, and we talk about environmental stuff, and it's just a way to kind of break down some of the topics and get people interested and give them ideas. So yeah, that was my number 1 from 2018 media, because we launched it, I think, the last quarter, and we've been doing one a month. So look for another episode, Sustainably Geeky.
Good deal. Yeah, I knew that was going to be on your list, and if it wasn't, I was going to scold you for it.
Missed opportunity.
That's right. Sean, what's the first item on your list?
The first one I've got is The Orville, the series The Orville. I absolutely love it. Seth MacFarlane can do anything, and I'll love it. But Deb and I are actually watching all the Family Guy episodes right now because I've got them all on DVD. But my youngest got me The Orville season 1 on DVD for Christmas, so we watched them. There's only 12 episodes though for the first season, which kind of sucks, but it's such a great series.
I've heard a lot of good stuff. My dad keeps harping on me about it, and I'm like, all right, I just need to put it on my list and watch it because I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
It's
it's Star Trek, which I love Star Trek, but it throws like stuff in there, like it could be a totally serious situation, and then it's like some guy start talking smack or something like that. Like it brings it right back to like today. Is so Seth MacFarlane is so brilliant.
He's a genius, and he sings beautifully too.
Yes, he does. He has such a nice voice.
Especially as Stewie.
See, I used to be a huge Family Guy fan, and I just got sick of it and pretty much everything that he was doing. And then when he produced the redo they did of Cosmos, I was like, okay, all's forgiven because this was so epic. But then
How about
like
A Million
his
Ways to Die
movie
in the
stuff.
West?
Do what?
Million Ways to Die in the West?
I love that movie.
Haven't
I
seen
thought it
it.
was hilarious.
It was
You didn't like
blast.
it?
We watched it. You hated it.
Did
I
I?
thought it was one of the
Oh.
funniest movies. I've ever
You told me
seen.
to turn it off.
Oh,
It's set in like 1800s West America, and he's like making fun of how many ways you can die in the West. Because
I believe your official quote is, "This is fucking stupid. Turn it off now."
Oh, well, that does sound like
Wow.
something you said, so.
it's got Sarah
it was-
Silverman, Neil Patrick Harris. Not
Don't
ringing any
remember.
bells.
yeah, the
Yeah,
mustache song.
Yes,
I remember when it came out, I thought, okay, I might see this. I don't know, but
I love it.
but yeah, I've heard really good things about the Orville. So, what's funny is because it came out about the same time as this new Star Trek series came out, and the new Star Trek series was kind of weak or kind of soft at first, and apparently, found out what it was doing and became steam. So a lot of people at first were like, no, I'm not bothering with Star. Like, this is the new Star Trek. Don't worry about Star Trek. This is the new Star Trek. And then apparently, like I said, it's found its footing, and now there's like, no, we've got two really good sci-fi shows now. So we've got an actual Star Trek, and then we've got a Galaxy Quest-ish style Star Trek. And I'm like, cool, whatever. So
Well, Seth MacFarlane did a plug for a new Star Trek series, and they turned him down. So this was his alternative because he's a huge Star Trek fan. He was in TNG for an episode and a huge fan, but they didn't accept his series, so he went and did this instead.
Smart man.
Cool.
Let's see here. I'm going, since Jennifer went down that road, I'm going to go ahead and go down that road too. One of my favorite things for 2018 was the Marginally Geeky episode number 23. And if you know which one it is, it was the one that we actually got to talk to.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Our new author friend.
Yes.
That still blows my mind that we managed to get that to happen, and he was so
awesome.
freaking cool.
He's so cool. He's such a nice dude.
He's a very nice dude.
What happens when you cosplay?
That's right.
As an obscure character.
That's right. But yeah, if you haven't, definitely, and especially if you've read any of the books, any of the Magic 2.0 books, we got to do an interview with Scott Meyer, and the dude is he's funny. He's very down to earth. It was a blast being able to do that. So
yeah, very cool.
All right, Ray, what's the next one on your list?
Let's go with The Good Place. I absolutely love this show.
Yes, I have not watched that first episode of this new season, but oh my god, it is so
we
that
are
show blew my mind.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
We are all caught up. We are waiting for the final episode of this season, or potential last two. But anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying this series. It's so well written. It's so well acted out. Janet's probably one of my favorite characters.
I love Janet.
Yes.
I love her.
I do too.
She's just amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when she's bad, Janet.
Yes.
That makes no sense to people who've never watched
But
it.
it could.
No, it does not.
I've never even heard of the show, so.
It's
So fun. And all I'm going to say is it's about going to the good place, like as in heaven. And that's all you can say without giving anything else away.
Yeah, because pretty much anything else gives it away.
Well, I mean, all the trailers are literally this woman ends up in the good place, heaven, and she's not supposed to be there. That's all you need to know.
Yes.
And when you start watching it and stuff starts happening, you're going to be like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, but I like it. So,
yeah.
Super good.
Yeah. Yes. So that is definitely on my list.
Yes, that was on my list too.
Yes.
And yes.
Good deal. Chris, what's the next one on your list?
Okay. For me, Ray and I have been watching Survivor every season since it came out. We're those people.
Crap.
Yep.
Okay.
And Canadians can now apply.
They can. So guess who's going to send in a tape?
Oh.
If I can, we'll see.
No, he
If
will.
you can.
He will. Anyway, so this season in particular, season 38, was very, very special to me and to the four of us because there was a man on there. His name is Christian Hubecki, and he was 32. He works at a university in Florida as a robotics engineer. He's a professor.
Yeah.
And he is a gem of a human being, but he is a very hyper-frenetic person, and he's very much not typical. And he was so sweet and so wonderful, and he was one of the best players. And you wouldn't have suspected it was him, but he reminded me so much of Quinn. And it was like looking at Quinn as an adult. Like, I know what Quinn will be like when he grows up because I see this man. And I've never ever connected so much to a person on that show because it's just reality TV and it's whatever. It's for fun. They're all playing for $1 million, right? But this guy, it wasn't about that for him. He just wanted to play. And there was this one scene on the beach with his good friend Gabby, and she was venting or whatever, and he's just, comforting her and looking at, they're talking and stuff, and she's like, so do you want to play with me? And he's like, what, in the sand? And she's like, no, the game. He's like, oh, okay. Like, he was, but if she'd said yes, play in the sand, he would have played in the sand.
He'd playing like X and O's in the sand. I'm like, what do you want to? Okay, sure.
Sure, I'll play. What do you want to play?
Awesome.
And when when he got voted off, I cried. I've never cried.
No.
And I was done. I was so devastated. And I got on his IG and I DM'd him. I'm like, oh my God. Because the message that I wanted to leave was too long for the comments on the picture. So I left him some ridiculous mom sob about how proud I was of him.
That's awesome, though.
Did he respond?
No. And when I didn't expect him to, but I just needed to get it out. But
right, yeah.
I worry a little less about Quinn now, growing up, because
awesome.
He was just this fantastic human being. It was really successful. So, yeah. And he had a cute girlfriend. She was so adorable. Sorry. I really
just everything that Chris could hope for. She's like, yes.
I was momming out hard.
Nice. That needs to be on a shirt. I'm momming out hard.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what's the next one on your list?
Okay, so my list doesn't have any TV or video games since I don't partake in any of that stuff.
Perfectly fine.
Really, no other podcasts either, but mostly movies and books for me. So I guess I'll list and again, in no particular order, my next one is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I really liked the movie. I really thought the guy that played him did a great job, and I loved seeing the story of how the songs came about and everything. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christy finally got to go see it and loved it.
That was a great movie.
It was really good. Rami Malek
still haven't seen it.
Rami Malek is nominated for a Golden Globe for that.
Oh yeah, he should have been. I mean,
I went with my sister.
They're re-releasing that one as a sing-along movie.
I did send it to Chris.
I'll be there.
Oh yeah, I'm still gonna go.
Patrick's way into Queen right now, so we went to see that with him.
Yeah.
We only lived 3 houses down from the movie theater.
Yeah, you're your dick.
Nice.
We were walking back, and Patrick's just humming every Queen song. It was
That's
so
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, it was a really, really good movie.
Yeah,
nice.
Very good.
Yeah, my wife loved it too. So, Sean, what's the next one on your list?
I'm gonna go with Deadpool 2.
It was entertaining.
It was just so funny. Ryan Reynolds. Oh, beautiful.
Yep,
Canadian.
it was on my list. The movie itself was great. I think it was on par with the first one. And then the after the credit stuff just blew it into the stratosphere.
Yeah, that was so funny.
That was awesome.
Oh my God, it was good.
They were able to pull that off.
Yes.
They go back and correct some of the issues with previous movies.
Yes.
Himself a couple times and
I like the mutant that her mutation was luck. I loved that.
Yeah.
Domino.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Domino was awesome.
Yeah,
it was definitely cool.
I liked her. That was really
She's
cool.
things just work out for me.
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. I love because no mention of it all, right? And so we're sitting in the theater, and then all of a sudden you see who the Vanisher was, and it was like, was that who I thought it was? And because you're in the middle of the theater, you don't really want to. Was that was it Brad Pitt? Wasn't it? And so, going back and watching it again.
Matt Damon in the makeup with one of the truck drivers when Cable first arrives.
I did.
Wow, I get that.
No, I missed.
He's the
I didn't
one
know
that's
that either.
It's Matt Damon.
Oh yeah,
Matt
I didn't
Damon.
know if it was him or not because the makeup, like it was.
Yeah. Well, they added like, I don't know, 1,000 pounds to him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Half of that's all beard.
Yeah.
See, I like both of those guys on camera. Like, I like their work, but I almost like their this side work almost better, just because it's like now it's like this should be an ongoing thing. Are they in a movie? Just pick one movie. Every movie should have at least one of them.
Yeah.
And like all the dialogue with Colossus was just hilarious.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, it was.
And I didn't know that Reynolds played Juggernaut as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Which
I didn't know that either.
His voice, anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's going to be freaking Pikachu.
Man, really good at doing all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I did not pick up on the Brad Pitt thing. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
There is a snapshot of him being electrocuted, and you can perfect Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and check that in a minute. The next one on my list is also I'm getting the kind of like personal ones out of the way. The next one on my list is it's a podcast. It's a specific episode. I think it's still the current one out there right now if you go look for it. But it's LeVar Burton Reads. I found this show. It's great. It's literally what it says. It's LeVar Burton who's picked a short story that he likes. It can be anything. It can be fantasy. It can be sci-fi. It can be whatever. And he's got a wonderful way of reading, and he's got a great voice for it. But the reason why episode 23, or the newest episode, is because it was filmed live in Austin, and Christy and I got to go see it. And we had a blast. It was at this old-timey theater. So we got in there and just, literally, I mean, we literally drove to Austin and like we're kind of somewhat dressed up and sat in a theater and just listened to LeVar Burton read a short story and then do a short interview with the author afterwards. And it was so much fun. And it was a really nice night out. We had a blast. Like I said, the story was really well done. But yeah, if nothing else, if you like, especially if you're into audiobooks, go check out LeVar Burton Reads. It's free. There are commercials in it, but it's fine. It's you kind of have that mentality of, okay, I'm listening to like talk radio or whatever, so it's fine. But yeah, go download it and just let the man read to you, because he's got such a great voice, and he does good voices. His flow of the way he reads is great. It's just, yeah, it's a good time. So that was the next
audio
one
for Cosmos, doesn't he? The remake.
No, the new one was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, I think a lot of it was LeVar Burton. I remember.
I know Tyson hosted, but maybe he did do some of the voiceover on it. So
yeah, I don't know. It could have been the version I listened to.
Oh, you're talking about the audiobook? Then yeah, it may have been him that did it. So. Which, by the way, that's what I should put on my next list. Anyway, sorry, got sidetracked. Ray, what's your next item on your list?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with this one because it's probably on other people's lists. So, Avengers: Infinity War. I loved it. I know other people on this show do not have the same feeling, but there is nothing. The way that they did it, I thought was great. Every character had a great scene. There was a little bit of CGI issues with the Hulkbuster.
I agree. That's the one part that.
Yeah, that was weird.
There was.
I literally just rewatched the movie like the other night,
yeah.
And it's funny. I never doubt Thanos a second. Like, he is a believable character to me the entire time. But whenever you see his head and the top of the Hulkbuster, it's just not right. I don't know if it's the proportions or what, but
I don't know. It just didn't feel right. But anyway, I'm really excited for the next one. They could go in so many different directions, and I don't know if anybody else saw the rumor out there, but if you, I don't want to. I hate doing spoilers or anything like that. But there's a certain individual, if you search famous movies by this particular actor, who's not supposed to be in this.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
he Endgame is listed as one of his movies.
Yeah, one of his credits on.
Which it's not official, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. I did hear that one too. So
okay,
yeah, okay.
What I was surprised about, and I just found out about it like yesterday, was the guy that plays the Red Skull.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the same.
No,
it wasn't. Yeah.
Didn't that guy
I
do
did
a
not
great
realize
job?
that.
That wasn't the same dude?
No.
Same actor. No.
No, but he did a damn good job.
Like, it was in his contract, but he just decided he didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
they got some guy from The Walking Dead.
Hugo decided he didn't want to do it, so they got this other guy to do it, and he did a bang.
He knocked it out of the park.
I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Neither did I. I thought that was Hugo Weaving.
Nope.
Well, holy crap. Kudos to that.
That was supposed to be like a little bit to Lady Death.
Yes. Yep.
Came in there and looked like Death because they didn't really actually have her in it. But
no.
That Titan. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Chris, what is your next one on your list?
My next one. So it's a Netflix show, and it's season 2 of Queer Eye. Queer Eye in general. I've
heard some great things about the new season.
I just want them to come over to my house and make over me.
It almost
I feel like I would they would leave and I would feel like $1 million. Like they're just so sweet and so adorable and the cutest human beings on the planet. And it's such an uplifting show and it makes you just want to be better and get your shit together. And
it almost made my list. You're right. It is a fantastic
show. And then they did a Queer Eye with Nailed It.
Yes.
So
I saw that one.
Yeah, Anthony, because he's the food dude, wasn't on that one, but that was super cute. And then they've done a couple other specials, just like little 9-minute, 20-minute specials. And good night, Logan. And they're so sweet and genuine. Like they actually like each other. You can tell that it's not faked or put on, and they're not being paid to do this. They're really, really sweet. And I like them. And Jonathan is learning how to figure skate, and he posts Instagram stories about his figure skate because he has this huge crush on, I think his name is Anthony Rippon, who is an American figure skater. And he's got the tights, he's got the crop top sweater, his hair is in a messy top knot, and it's just the cutest thing, learning how to do spirals and crossovers, and it's so cute.
I guess I got my next costume.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Just, are you going to grow out the hair or are you going to go with the wig?
Say, pile the hair up.
Got to do the wig, man. I got
nothing. I was going to say, yeah.
It's your man.
Impressive
man bun. Jennifer, what's next on your list?
I'm going to go with another movie, RBG. I don't think that's on anyone else's list. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh,
okay.
Has gotten a cult following, and I obviously, based on my Geek Fest costume last year, day 1 or day 2. I'm a big fan. So yeah, they did a documentary about her and we watched it last year. And then there's a movie in the works. Actually, I think it's out now, called On the Basis of Sex, played by Felicity Jones. So I'm super excited to see that. Yeah, it's either out now or it's about to be out in limited release. So, but yeah, watch it if you're interested in RBG or anything having to do with sexism. That was like her big call to fame, was helping to get a lot of those laws overturned and get equal laws for men and women alike.
Good deal. Sean, what's the next one on your list?
I'm going to go with an audiobook series this time. Now, the first one came out in 2017, but the second book in the series came out like only a few weeks ago. It's Not Alone. Mm-hmm. Now, the first one's Not Alone, and the second one is Not Alone, Second Contact. It's basically first contact with aliens kind of thing. But the book series, first off, the narration is just spot on. The guy that does it alters his voice enough that you can always tell who's talking. But the series itself, it just, you think you know what's going on, and then bam, something twisted happens, and then you're like, oh, it takes you a while to get used to it, and then bam, it just changes it all again. Normally I don't care for that, but this was so well written. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely made my list. Not Alone and Not Alone Second Contact.
Cool.
Might have to read that for the book club.
Yeah, no, right?
No, I think it might be an audio, audible exclusive. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure they're Audible exclusive. It is excellent. I highly recommend it.
Good deal. Trying to figure out what the next one I'm going to put on my list is here, because like I said, I'm kind of hedging my bets that some of these other ones are pulled by other people. So I'm going to go with a Netflix series that I technically have not finished yet. I mentioned it in the pre-show. I've got 2 episodes left, but the Voltron Legendary Defender series that is on Netflix is fantastic. The people who were behind it did one of my all-time favorite anythings ever, which was Avatar: The Last Airbender. The story is there are episodes and there are moments that, of course, are great for the kids. It's very, it's very kiddie. It's very kid friendly. But the overarching story is very deep. It goes lots of different places, and I just love what they did with the Voltron mythology of, kind of keeping the original, not really. And they even make references to it. Like, there's even an episode where they're watching the original Voltron, and they're like, they got this all wrong. That is not how this happened, and I do not look like that. And it's that type of stuff I find great. I love it. But yeah, I have really enjoyed this series. When it first came out, I started watching it, and I've watched it all the way through. Like I said, I've got 2 episodes left. It is the last season, so I'm kind of holding on to them a little bit because I don't want it to be over with yet. But yeah, so I've really enjoyed it.
She watched the first half of the season, and then she took a break for like a week because she's like, "Cause this is the last season." And then when she watched the last episode, she came out and she was crying, but because it's the last one. But she was happy.
Liked how it left off.
Yeah, and I'm on season 7, and I haven't finished season 7 yet. I'm almost done. But I think it's hilarious. It's so funny. I love Rhys Darby. Rhys Darby, in my opinion, is just a magical human being, and he voices Karan, and he's just I love Karan.
Karan's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's so funny. I think it's a great show.
Yep. Awesome. All right, Ray, what is your next one?
I'm going to stick with Netflix for one more just for fun because it's funny. It's freaking hilarious.
Oh.
It's a very honest view of puberty.
I don't know what this one.
I am so glad y'all told me about Big Mouth because that show is hilarious.
So funny.
It
gets weird, but it's funny.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's such a. If you have kids that are approaching puberty, go ahead and watch it because it'll bring you back to like, holy shit, yeah, this is.
You can sympathize with your kids a little bit.
A little bit more.
Take it a little easy on them.
Who's in it? Anyone that I?
Nick Kroll does it. Nick Kroll and John Mulaney are the 2 that created it.
Who voices the vagina?
I don't know.
Sentences you never thought you'd hear.
But Nick Kroll does.
No, it's like a famous actress.
What's her name? Who does she does the female hormone monster?
Maya Rudolph does.
Maya Rudolph.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
So Maya Rudolph does the female hormone monster, and it's freaking hilarious. But Nick Kroll does the majority of the voices on it.
Yeah.
But it's super funny.
Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig is the vagina.
Oh yes.
Yes.
You sold me on Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig. I mean,
It is. But the hormone monster is just so funny, and then the female version, whenever the girl is talking, like getting into an argument with her mom, and the female hormone monster is just like, finish her. I'm just dying laughing. God, it is so good.
No, because it's out of nowhere. Like when you're going through that, it's just.
Yep.
You're happy. The next minute you're sobbing, and it's just a big mess. And you know why? Because you have a stupid hormone monster who's like being a little puppet master.
Oh, that is a good show. Ray, sorry, Chris. What is your next one?
funny. Okay, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. Okay, so I don't actually subscribe to this YouTube channel. I just watch it for the specific series that they have. It's Refinery 29. So Refinery 29 is this YouTube channel, and it's more like a lifestyle channel. And they have this one series called My Sweet Digs. So it takes a look at rent prices in New York and all the boroughs in New York, like what you can get for $4,000 or what you can get for $1,800, and what it means. Like how many roommates would you have for some? Like one of the highest one I think is like $4,800, but it's like 4 people who live in an apartment, but they're like each paying however big their place is, and it just takes them around, gives you a good idea of what rent prices are like in New York, and so it's kind of stupid.
It's insane.
And then they do a couple of ones in Los Angeles, and then the recent one they did in London, which was pretty. London, England was pretty neat. But it gives you a really good idea of how city life can be really expensive, and you have to make do with the small space, and these people make it work. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yep, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what's the next one on your list?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say it before somebody else does, and then I don't have one. Wakanda Forever.
Nice. Yeah.
Black Panther. Yes.
That was on my list. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was on mine
good.
too.
It was so good. I loved it, and yeah, that's definitely one of my top 10 for the year.
Yep. I need to go back and watch it again. I mean, I watched it a couple of times, but I need to go back and watch it again. So.
See, and I love how playing the music of each of those movies, because they do it in Infinity War, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know which storyline they're going to focus on just by the music alone. They did such a good job, but they tie in together so well that it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But yeah, that one I was really happy with the way that they portrayed everything, and it was such a good movie.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Man, that was a good one. Yep, that was on my list too. So,
yeah.
All right, Sean, what's your next? Oh, Sean, what's your next one?
Well, the next one was Black Panther, but
awkward.
I'm gonna go with another Audible book series, Breakthrough series.
Okay.
Now right now it's a 3-book series. There's a 4th one, but it's it's hard to describe. It's basically writers like Tom Clancy, if he merged together with Michael Crichton after he got kicked in the head to like dumb things down a little bit.
Okay.
But you'd understand if you listen to it. But like the first book in the series kind of revolves around communication with dolphins. So they actually create a program that starts translating dolphins, and then all of a sudden the dolphins are like, "Hey, you can talk to us again." So at one point in their past, humans could talk to them. And
dolphins are aliens.
It's like a commando team, and it is all over the map, but it really works. It really comes together. And the books, there's like a thread that keeps everything in continuity, but like the stories are like so far out there. Like it's absolutely crazy. Now you have to kind of turn your brain off a couple times because but go along with the story, and it's really well written, really well read. Yeah, another one. It was one of those ones where I listened for like an hour and like, holy crap, where'd that hour go? Oh, just one more hour, kind of.
Yeah,
I didn't see
that.
My kids for a long time. I don't usually only listen when I'm in the car going to and from work. So I'd be like taking like the long way home kind of thing. Like instead of like a 20-minute drive, it'd be like an hour.
Yep, I have definitely sat in the garage for 10 minutes trying to finish like a chapter before. So, and then like my wife comes out or the kids come out like, "Daddy, what are you doing?"
Series, totally like that.
Just turn the car off while you're doing that.
Yes, please.
Garage doors closed.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I turned the car off because it's like they've heard the garage open, they've heard the car come in and turn off, and they're like, "What? Why haven't you come in the house yet?" So, yeah, I've definitely done that before. Let's see, my next one, most of these are kind of big. I'm in, like I said, I'm hedging my bet. Some of these are going to be pulled by some of y'all. So I'm going to throw this one out there. This was a date movie that my wife and I went and saw earlier this year. It's called Tag. If you haven't seen it, it is hilarious. Very simple premise. It is based off a actual group of guys that have been playing a game of tag for 30 years. And the reason why they're doing it is because it gives them an excuse to go see each other. But of course they amp it up and kind of put their own twist on it in the movie. But oh my God, it is so funny. If you haven't seen Tag, it's out for rental or whatever. You can probably get it 99 cents, Redbox or whatever. But yeah, definitely watch it. If you're looking for like a rom-com, it's definitely worth watching. It's funny as hell. Yeah, we had a good time watching it. So, all right, Ray, what's your next one?
I'm going to get back into YouTube videos, or channels anyway. Which one am I going to go with? I'm going to go with Savage Geese. Savage Geese is a guy that reviews cars. But what I really like about him is that he takes brand new cars, gives you a really in-depth look into how they're going to work for you, and then he takes it to a mechanic and they lift it up and they talk about all the engineering and all the stuff underneath it. And they do a really good job of an in-depth review. So if you're looking to buy a new car, or you just want to kind of have an idea of what you're going to expect when you buy a certain vehicle, he goes really into depth of what to expect on what's going to break down first, and also kind of like the roundabout drivability, whether he liked it or whether he didn't. And I really like his honesty, and the production is really well done as well. So yeah, Savage Geese.
Savage Geese. Okay. Maybe that's why I haven't found it, because it doesn't make any sense compared to what it's about.
Yeah.
So he might want to work on his marketing. Chris, what's your next one?
I'll do a movie. Ooh, there's some echo.
All right, it's good. It's good.
Okay. Yeah. Crimes of Grindelwald, or Crimes of Grindelwald, depending on how you're going to pronounce it. I really liked it. Oh God. It's the second movie in the Fantastic Beasts series. There's 3 more to come. A lot of people shit all over it because it was sort of didn't explain a lot, but people have to remember it's only the second movie and there's no books to draw from. We have a series to fill in the blanks. So we just have to trust that the next 3 are gonna give us more answers. And J.K. Rowling did say in the next movie there will be answers. She did tweet that. But we're going through the Harry Potter series with the kids on Audible, and we've just turned into a big family of Potterheads, and I really liked it. And Ezra Miller is a gem. He's an amazing actor, and I really like Alison Sudol. She plays Queenie.
I love Queenie.
Queenie's so cute. And it was really, really good. And I really, really liked it. And I don't care what all the poo-pooers out there say. It was good.
And Jude Law was in it.
And Jude Law.
I've heard the people I know who've seen it either thought it was okay or really liked it. And the ones who thought it was okay were in the same boat of, but we're getting more. It's going to explain more. So I'm excited for it. Yes. So everyone I know personally has enjoyed it so far.
I'm excited to see
it. I thought it explained a lot. Like I didn't really leave with a whole lot of questions.
No, I thought it was great.
There are questions that I have in the way of, okay, without getting to spoilers, the relationship between the 3 characters that they're kind of talking about. One that gets a phoenix at the end, and I'll just leave it at that, and how they're related and stuff like that. So it's
okay.
There are questions, but again, it's the second movie, right? Like you're not going to get all the answers out of this one. Mm-hmm. I like Queenie's storyline. I think it
makes a lot of sense.
It's a really important one, and it's. I'm excited to see where it goes. Anyway.
Yes, I'm very excited to see what she's gonna write up, and it's a bit of a bummer that there's no books.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was books.
But I'm happy with the movies. I'll take anything she gives us.
Good deal. Jen, what's your next one?
So I'm gonna go actually a Broadway show that I got to see this year that didn't come out this year, but I finally got to see it after obsessing over it for many years. Hamilton.
Okay.
Little show y'all may have heard of.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so like I said, I've loved the soundtrack and everything Hamilton for years, but I finally got to see it in New York. And not only did I get to see it, but my friend works in the crew for the show. So she actually got us backstage after. We got to meet the guy that played Hamilton and Lafayette / Jefferson. Got to go backstage, and I took pictures of everything, like the set list, the props, the wardrobe. It was amazing. The pit. And then we got to stand on stage and just see, the audience from, well, not the audience, but the empty seats from the stage and the stage light and everything. It was great. So yeah, it's a history, but it's a hip opera. So like, the name Hamilton should give it away. It's about Alexander Hamilton, but
yes,
really good. It was the highlight of my visit to New York City.
Right.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
It's on my list to go see someday.
Yeah, it's touring now, but like even the touring tickets are outrageous, and I got to see the show for $40, which is unheard of because she works the show. Yeah, but like it was, standing seats and orchestra, but still, I was completely fine with that.
Yeah,
for $40. So
you take what you can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. Sean, what's your next one?
I'm going to go with Bumblebee.
Yay!
Before anyone else says it.
That was on my list.
It was on my list, too.
It was a great, fun movie. And just seeing the Transformers on the Cybertron scenes, they were Ravage. Oh, that was so cool.
The Cybertron stuff was worth the price of admission. Everything else was just
bonus.
Yeah. But I'm like you, I love the fact that it was a kids movie.
That should have been the first Transformers movie.
Yes.
And you know what? I'd really like it if they just kind of bounced off this one and went into the next one and continued on as if the first ones didn't exist.
There's talk that they might actually do that because of the positive buzz they're getting from this one and how well, like the money that it's making. There's talk that they may be like, well, yeah, it technically ties in the other ones, but we may not necessarily carry on with that. Might do a little retconning.
I've heard that they're talk of doing an Optimus Prime movie when, like, as soon as Bumblebee leaves Cybertron, it'll take off from that point. Optimus on Cybertron.
Oh, I would love to see that. You know what? I have no problem watching a completely animated, Transformers movie. No problem at all. I would watch the hell out of that.
I posted on our chat that little YouTube thing on the character development for.
Yes.
That was really good. How they talked about. I just wanted to go back to the 80s. Yeah, and they could do all that because these Transformers had never seen anything on Earth, so it didn't really matter. They could look anything they wanted.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally was not going to go watch it, and then the trailer started coming out, and I was like, well, maybe. And then when I heard all of the good, people talking about it, I was like, all right, well, fine, I'm going to give it a shot. And I walked into it, walked out, and was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had a good time with that one. Also on my list. All right. I think this will be my fifth one, which will be our fifth round, which leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I'll be able to get everything on my list, I think. So with that, I'll go ahead and lead into my next one. Another Netflix series, Castlevania. It's loosely based on the third Castlevania game back on the regular Nintendo, way back. It takes most of the characters from that, and they're trying to kill Dracula. And Dracula, it pulls a lot of stuff from the other games. So Dracula's love has died, and he's basically waging war on humans. And you actually get to see like the war itself. So like his vampire generals, like when he's not there, they're like, why are we doing this? Why are we wasting all of our, we're wasting our minions, our demons, and everything else. Yes, we're advancing in the war, but we're also getting, we're losing a lot of people. Why are we doing this? Why are we following Dracula still? He's gone mad, and talk of possibly like taking him out or whatever. A lot of stuff that you would find in actual war. But all I will say is, if you're a big Castlevania fan, near the very end of like the big set piece, the big battle or whatever, near the very end, when the certain piece of music starts to play, I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, these people like know their Castlevania lore. It was so good. It is drawn kind of like an anime, but it is not an anime. Like, the pacing is much different. The vocal work is a lot different. Like, a lot of anime tends to be very rushed. They kind of talk over each other, and it is not that way at all. Like, they'll speak a line and they'll think for a second, and then they'll respond more like the pacing is more like a live action movie. But man, it is so good. If you have any love for any of the Castlevania stuff, definitely go watch it. It's on Netflix and it is great. All right, Ray, what is your next one?
All right, gonna stick to YouTube again. Okay. There's a channel that I found this in 2018 that I really liked. I don't know how long he's been around, but anyway, Andy Guitar. He breaks down how-to videos, a couple of how-to videos of how to play certain songs, and there are different versions of the song, so they could be like a live version. For instance, he does Foo Fighters' My Hero, but the acoustic live version, and just kind of breaks it down on how to play it, and talks about a couple of easier ways to do it, but it's so that you can get away with just playing it, or he shows kind of what Dave Grohl does so that you can get into more of a realistic thing. So I just like how he breaks it all down into easier ways to play it, and it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just noticed that Conan has been in the office, and I was going to try to get him to put on camera, but he was underneath the desk sleeping and just woke up. So whatever. Christy's coming to let him out here in a second. Sorry about that. All right, Chris, what is your next one?
I'll do a book. It's not a book. It's a magazine.
Okay.
But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one.
Yep, that's what I thought.
So last year around March, I was told I have high cholesterol, and sort of my doctor was like, okay, you have 6 months to get your shit together, and then we'll test you again, and then we'll probably have to put you on medication because this is probably genetic. So I freaked out. I was like, okay, so I have high cholesterol. So what does that mean? What do you want me to do? He told me nothing.
She thought she was going to die right away.
Well, okay. I'm thinking of my grandmas who have both had strokes. One of them has died from it, and all the heart disease in my family. I'm like, great, I'm gonna die of a heart attack tomorrow. That's perfect. Because the doctors don't. That's not what they go to school for. They don't go to school for nutrition and diet. They go to school to put you back together again when you fall apart.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out. It took me a really long time to find a way to eat that we could do forever, and I haven't bought a magazine in years. I used to buy People magazine. Anyway. And I was at Shoppers Drug Mart, and there it was. It was National Geographic, The Blue Zones, How to Live Till 100. Okay. And I've talked about this before, but it's changed our lives. It's the whole magazine. It's a 10-year study done. And it made so much sense, and it's changed our lives. All 4 of us are on it. And my numbers did go down a little bit, but I didn't do it for long enough. So we're still on it, even though I'm on medication. And it's been the best thing on the planet, and it's totally changed our lives. And we have never eaten better.
But what I like about it is it's food that I actually don't mind eating.
That's always a plus.
It's not a fad diet. It's not one of those trying to lose weight. You're not trying to lose weight on this. It's just trying to stabilize your weight and try to
just eat healthier.
Just eat better.
It's a way of eating healthier, but still enjoying food.
But food is preventative medicine. Food is your first line of defense, and I feel crappy that it's taken us this long to figure it all out. But
life.
Yes.
What's it called again?
Blue Zones. So there's books. The man who wrote about his name's Dan Buettner. He's got a book. There's a website. There's tons of recipes. Really easy stuff to follow. It's plant-based eating, and it's all science-based. They did a 10-year study, these 5 zones throughout the world of people who live above average life expectancies
into their hundreds,
and how a few of them die of disease. They just die because they're old.
But what I liked about it was that it didn't say that they're just alive until they're 100. They're actually still walking around and living in their hundreds, right?
Because that's a big difference.
Yes, they're not sick. They're healthy. They're independent people. And why is that? So it does take into account the diet and their exercise, but also their community. The way that their society that they live in is all set up, their day-to-day life, things like that. That takes into consideration too. So this is all outside of genetics, because that's a part of it too. But stuff that you can do and incorporate in your life to help you live healthier for longer.
Good deal.
Blue Zones.
Jennifer, what's your next one?
I'm also going to go with a magazine since Chris brought that up. It's actually 2, but they're very close related. So I recently have made it a point to try to start reading some of the many magazines I've subscribed to. So the Texas Parks and Wildlife and the National Parks Association, Conservation Association both have a magazine, and they're both pretty short reads and just great stories about the parks, about some of the events they do, or things you can do at the parks, the recreational activities, and then just the stories about the people that visit them or the people that work there. It's really interesting. So it's been a nice escape for me when I can't actually go.
Very nice.
So yeah.
Very good. Sean, what's your next one?
I've actually got Solo, a Star Wars story. Now I read Star Trek books, not Star Wars books. But I think the only Star Wars books I actually have read were that Han Solo trilogy, like the story of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only canon I've ever known for like Star Wars, because I know a lot of people hated that movie, but they're like all drawing from Star Wars.
Got some bad news for you about those books.
Pardon?
I've got some bad news for you about those books, but go ahead.
Those are the only ones I've ever read, but the story itself, Solo, I thought the acting was great. The story was compelling all the way through. There wasn't really any low points. I came out of it, man, that was a really good movie. Made the list.
I enjoyed it, and then the ending was like nail in the coffin. Yes, this was awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, yeah. I liked it. It was a fun movie, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's have some more fun Star Wars.
I think the only problem was the timing of it being released. I think if they had waited for a December release, they would have seen it a lot better.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, it got killed in the box office, but I think you're right. It was just timing could have been better.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, I really enjoyed it, and it's one of those ones that I could watch anytime and just enjoy it.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I definitely enjoyed it.
What's the bad news about the books?
Well,
I'm kind of curious now.
No, the books he read, they're not canon anymore. They're all,
none of the Star Wars books are canon.
Yeah, they were all thrown out. So I didn't know if you.
Oh yeah, I got that. Hey, my Star Trek, all the things that I thought were canon, even the television series, aren't canon anymore.
No.
Yeah. They think that's they can dictate our lives like that.
The next one I'm going to throw out there is another movie. I've only seen it once. I just watched it and walked out of the theater and immediately put it on my list. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse it's
on my list.
It is not. I'm not going to say it's the best Spider-Man movie ever, because I really, really, really liked Homecoming. But I also really liked some of the Tobey Maguire stuff. The second Spider-Man movie I thought was great. but this movie blows it out of the water. It is so much fun. Like, you can walk in there and just know very little about Spider-Man and walk out and love this movie. And if you walk in there and you know stuff about Spider-Man, the whole time you're just going to be going, oh my God, they threw that in there. Like, there's a part where they're going down into this layer and you see it's a life-size version that he would be able to drive, but it's like all of the freaking Hot Wheels Spider-Man cars. And I'm like, the fact that you threw that in there is fantabulous. Like, y'all knocked this out of the park. This was so good.
That's awesome.
I had such a good time with it. And of course, if you do not stay till the after credits, you're an idiot. Because it is a Marvel movie, technically. So, but yeah, Spider-Man in Spider-Man.
That one to come to town. Did you vote for that, Ray?
I did vote for Spider-Man. Yeah, I wanted it to come back or to come to Port Elgin because I haven't been able to see it yet, and I want to take Quinn and Logan to see it.
Oh,
I think
my kids are asking me about it today. I'm really hoping it comes. I'll have to go twice though, because I think I'm going to be drunk the first time I go see it.
Well, it's funny you brought that one up because a buddy of mine, just as we were starting the show, he just got back from the movie with his kid, and he texted me. He's like, "You have to go see this movie." It's on my to-do list. I just haven't been able to see it yet.
Is that what Jake was messaging about? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely. Like, you're gonna go watch this, and you're just. Oh God, it's so much fun. And like I said, the more Spider-Man stuff you know, the more you're gonna get out of it. But you're still, even if you just knew, oh, there's a guy named Spider-Man, he swings, his uncle died, because everyone knows that, you're still gonna have a blast. So
nice.
All right. What's your next one, Ray?
I'm gonna go to a game that I picked up right around Christmas time. NHL 2019. I've grown up playing the NHL games all through the different systems, and this one is a lot of fun. They have a new online game which is called Ones, and so it's a 1 versus 1 versus 1. So it's 3 players against each other. But the cool thing is that if you're losing and it's getting close, let's say you're down by a couple of goals, but there's another guy that's only down by 1. You could actually help him out, get him to score a goal, and then it goes into overtime, and then you get a chance to keep playing and get and still can potentially win the game. So that was kind of cool. They also have threes, which is a 3-on-3 version of different characters or different NHL players you can get. There's the create your own team, which is kind of cool because they actually have Owen Sound as one of the places that you can put an NHL team, which I thought was hilarious. So there's all these different things that you can do, and you can create your own players as well. But what Logan really liked is that you can make a female player, which I thought was pretty cool.
I have a thing about the female players though. They are the manliest looking females.
Yes.
They beat hard with the ugly stick. Like, these ladies do not look like ladies at all.
But at least it's an option.
There you go.
So it's pretty cool that you're able to do that, and then you can play as your player through the player pro. So you can start off in the OHL level, try and get up into the NHL, and so it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Soundtrack's good.
Oh, soundtrack's really good.
Yeah, soundtrack's good.
All right. Chris, what's your next one?
Okay, I'll do a Netflix show. It's a British show. It's called Big Dreams, Small Spaces. It's about gardening, and there's this famous British gardener. His name's Martin, and
he's the Dumbledore of gardening.
He's so cute, and so it's the way he talks. He's so calming, and nothing really bugs him or phases him. There's no challenge that he thinks is insurmountable, and he's just really cute and adorable. He's like Dumbledore. Anyway,
that's awesome.
Anyway, there's 3 seasons on Netflix. I think there's only like 6 episodes a season. And
she watched it in like 3 days.
I got really upset when I realized it was the last episode of the current season. Anyways, he takes these really small plots of land in England, like either like allotments or small backyards and stuff, and just sort of helps the owner create their dream realistically. And then when they say their budget, you have to like almost double it because it's all in British pounds and it's expensive. But it's a really cute show, and it's nice, and he's just got such a calming, really lovely voice, and everybody who sees him on the show just loves him, is so happy that he's there, so it's nice.
Very cool. What is this called again?
Big Dreams, Small Spaces.
Big Dreams, Small Spaces. Got it. Jennifer, what's your next one?
Okay, I'm going to go with a book that I just discovered this year, but it's been out for many years.
Okay.
So The 5 Love Languages is it's like a classic book now in the self-help world, but yeah, my therapist suggested it, and I listened to it, and I was actually like really I don't know, it resonated with me, and it made sense, and it essentially is about how everyone has a different love language, or 2 or 3 or whatever, but a way that they show and receive love. And it's really good for just helping you figure out how to, relate to people, how to communicate. What matters to one person may not matter to another. So it's a way to kind of make you step back and say, oh, that's why they don't, respond when I say this or do this. And I should be doing this for them because their love language is, acts of service or words of affirmation or whatever it is. So very good book. Highly recommend. It's a little hokey. There's a lot of, corny stuff in it, but if you get through all that, the message is actually pretty good. And you can take a test online and find out what yours is if you don't know, if you can't figure it out by reading the book.
Good deal. That sounds like you had the same response to it that I did when I read Men Are From Mars, when Women Are From Venus, and it was like, God, they really hammer that whole men are from Mars and women are. But when you get past all of that stuff, and it's like, no, listen, this is why. And of course, it's been updated, and it says, listen, just because we say this is what the women's stance is, that's not always the case. It may be the man in the situation. And I'm just like, some of the stuff I'm just like, well, hell, that makes a lot of damn sense.
Yeah.
That's why Christy and I have a hard time talking about certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, once you realize that people have different ways of communicating, it makes it a lot easier, and you don't get as angry, or they may, understand you better, and it's better for everyone, even if you're not married or dating or, any relationship, friendship, parents, friends, family. So, yeah.
See, for me, it was the video. It's not about the nail. Again, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. That's all you have to type in is.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
And that one helped me out a lot.
Yep. That's all I have to say. It's not about the nail, and then he knows exactly what I mean.
Good deal. Yeah. Sean, what's your next one?
Let's see here. I'm gonna go back to audiobooks. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Singularity Trap. You guys probably know this one.
I do. Read it.
Have you listened to it yet?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah, and it wasn't quite on par with the Bobaverse.
I agree.
But there's potential there.
I agree with that too.
I thought it was a really good story. I'm hoping he carries on though. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been a second one out by now.
I follow him on Twitter, and I don't know if they're in this series or the new things, but he literally just sent one. It just finished. His next book just finished proofreading and stuff, and is going to the next step. And then he's about to finish a third one. I don't know if they're in that series. I didn't really research it, but I'm just like, okay, yep, you keep turning out stuff. I'm good to go.
And I hope it's that part of the series, because if there isn't a continuation to that book, then it's off my list.
It's dead to me.
There needs to be more. That's what I found with the Bobaverse. It ended kind of nice on each book, but okay, I need more.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
More coming.
Yeah. For the Bobaverse or for the Singularity Trap?
Bobaverse.
Oh, thank God. But the Singularity Trap I found was the same
See, I listened to it the first time and I thought it was okay, and I think my expectations were too high from listening from the Bobaverse stuff. So I listened to it a second time and I liked it more the second time. And I'm like you, I think it's okay where it ends, but I'm like, no, I kind of want to see more in that universe, and that'll decide whether or not how much I really liked it. So
I'm kind of worried because how that one ends is when we see him next, like all the characters that we've known and all that are going to be gone except for him.
could be, unless something odd happens. But yeah.
So no, I really enjoyed it, and I think it wasn't so much the story. Like the story was really good, but the narrator. So used to listening to him, I started going into Audible and just looking for stuff that he's narrated because I just like the way he does it.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. I should have wrote it down, but it made my list. It was a great one. I like one of those ones where I take the long way home kind of thing.
Gotcha. My next one on my list is, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I had a ton of fun watching that movie. It was, I mean, of course, it's like, granted, I really liked Infinity War, but we needed something light. And that's exactly what we got. It's like, hey, let's take this idea of taking things big that make them small. We'll take things that are small, make them big. And it's just, but he was also, the casting on that all the way around is just perfect anyway. Yeah. So I love how everyone interacts with each other. It's just, I liked it. I had a fun time with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
My favorite thing is the storytelling moments.
Oh my God, friend, yes.
It's like Drunk History where he's, narrating it and everyone else is acting it out, and it's so funny.
I've seen people have posted, they're like, there's a movement to have Michael Pena, basically at the beginning of Endgame, like him have basically tell us what's happened. And I'm like, absolutely, I'd be down for that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. They just got really mad, you see. So what happened was.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny.
He made that whole movie.
Yeah. It's
so, all right. So Ant-Man and the Wasp. All right. What's your next one, Ray?
All right. I'm gonna go with. Okay, so there's two videos that this YouTuber has posted, but it's of a podcast that I listen to all the time. So the Steve Dangle podcast, I've mentioned a couple of times on the show before. It's a hockey podcast. It's mainly about the Maple Leafs, but they talk about all things hockey. And I love listening to them. Usually it's an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and they do it a couple times a week. And yeah, I listen to it all. But one of their fans is obviously going to school or does something in the world of cartoons. And so he actually created 2 cartoons based on a couple of things that they did in the podcast. So if you go search for Evan Huber, you'll find him. And if you look at the 2 Steve Dangle podcasts, you'll see why I love the Steve Dangle podcast, because it's just so entertaining. And I think you can actually agree that those are pretty entertaining versions.
Yeah, well, the animation helps.
Yes. For sure. And that's what I mean, right? The animation just helps sell as to why because when I'm in the car driving, listening to these, this is how he draws them in their reactions is how I picture them talking in my head now. Like, it's just, I can see it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there's 2 videos. Fedor Gordeev is the second one, so watch that one last. But it's a lot of fun.
They're cute.
Very cool.
So Canadian. Cool. So Canadian of you.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Chris, what's your next one?
So one more Netflix show. It's there's 2 seasons of it. It's called A User's Guide to Cheating Death. And I've mentioned it before on the show. It's a docu-series on Netflix. There's 2 seasons now of it. And it just takes a real honest scientific look at, all these medical studies that come out, what pulp culture is doing to them, new fads in dieting and in self-help and all these kind of topics, controversial topics, and actually delves into the science behind it. And so it's a good mix of, trends. Like this one that I can remember.
Salt?
The salt.
Salt
oh,
is
God.
the one I love.
So this one spa has this like Himalayan salt brick room
that you just sit in.
You just sit in it, and it's all heated, and it's somehow supposed to do something.
It cleanses you.
Cleanses. So there was a big episode about cleanses and detoxing, and the way pop culture is taken and run with that. So now there's all these detox brands and cleanses, like
it's
the 7-day
industry,
cleanse and the lung flush stuff, and then the actual science behind it. So they have actual scientists and actual doctors in the field who are like, this is a load of bullshit, and here's why it's a load of crap.
Yep.
But
literally,
you're gonna be pooping.
Cleanse. Ugh.
You're wasting your money, and here's why. About how pop culture and the media have taken it and just run with it, and how regular people are wasting essentially their money on all of this stuff. Yep. So it's really interesting. It's a good, honest look at it. It's called A User's Guide to Cheating Death on Netflix. 2 seasons.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jen, what's your next one?
Okay, I have another book. Again, not written this year, but this is the year I read it. So actually for another book club, it's called The World is Blue by Sylvia Earle, and it's a book about the oceans and how important they are and how we're essentially raping them of all nutrients and life and ability to stay healthy. So it's pretty depressing, but it's pretty eye-opening because it goes into the science of why we need the oceans, why the planet needs the oceans, and how we can't keep taking fish and other creatures out of them for consumption the way we have been for the past couple hundred years, because it's just not sustainable, and the consequences of that are going to be dire for humans and the planet if we keep doing that. So not that I didn't needed another reason not to eat seafood, but that kind of sealed the deal because I have never liked seafood, and now I never will eat it because of that, especially.
Ditto.
So, The World is Blue.
Good deal.
Check it out.
If you want to be depressed.
It's real
Sean, what is your next one?
I don't want to eat seafood now either. Thanks.
And that was the Cliff Notes version.
Oh, yeah, I think I'll skip that one. Thanks, Jen. We've pretty well gone through all my top 10, so I'm going into my runners up.
All right.
And surprisingly, Star Trek Discovery, didn't make it into my top 10. I've only watched up to the mid-season finale.
Mm-hmm.
So, little history. My family and I, a couple years back, one of my New Year's resolutions was to watch a Star Trek episode, one per day for the entire year. And I did it. And my family watched them all with me. We started with the original series and watched it all the way through. But we didn't get them done. So I renewed it for the second year. But I was smarter and said I had to watch 7 episodes a week.
Right.
So I could find them. Because like going away on vacation, I had to like put them onto my iPad kind of crap. So anyway, so we watched them all. But so I was really looking forward to Discovery coming out. Because, family can get together and watch it. Well, of course, at that time, I canceled cable. So then I was like having to download them and then got into moving. And I was like, no, we just don't have time. And I watched the first few episodes and my kids are fairly young still. And I'm like, holy crap, they really departed from the normal Star Trek that everyone's used to.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Situations and content and all that. I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if I want them to watch this yet. So I decided, okay, I'm going to just stop watching. I'll wait till it comes out on Blu-ray. We didn't bring it out until like December 20th or something like that. So made for a Christmas present, but it really ticked me off when I first started watching the episodes, like how different it was from the other Star Trek series. Like, way different. It didn't fit anywhere, even the new movies that came out or anything like that. And that turned me off until I realized why they did it. It was licensing, stupid, because there's 2 studios that own the Star Trek rights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the one, then both studios. Anyway, once I realized that and got over the fact that they've changed it so much, it's actually a really good series. It's really well thought out. The effects are really, really good. The story and the characters are really well developed. Just being a Star Trek fan, you had to like just kind of shut your brain off and just enjoy it for what it was. Mm-hmm. So that's why I made it into the runner-up. It's not in my top 10, but I think we're going to start watching it shortly. It'll be interesting. I might get a little bit of flack from my wife when the kids start watching some of the scenes, but
yeah, I can see Deb giving you shit.
Oh well, I got around to like Family Guy and stuff like that, so I probably get over this. I have some explaining to do with some of the scenes, but there's a lot more blood and gore and sex in the new series, that's for sure. Like HBO produced it.
Wow! So it's not your father's Star Trek.
Well, it's Captain Kirk without the clothes.
Okay, got it. Don't know if I wanted it, but got it. My next one is this one is going to be controversial, I think, mainly for Ray. But Ready Player One made my list. I enjoyed it. I love the book. The book is phenomenal. I've listened to the book I don't know how many times. The movie, for me, I enjoy it because if you're going in expecting tacos, when you get taco salad, you're going to be like, this is not tacos. This is not what I ordered. The main ingredients are there, but this is not what I ordered. And as long as you're like, fine, I'm just going to eat this. I enjoyed it. Like I liked it for what it was. I like some of the specific things they did. I still can't believe they were able to pull off the stuff they did with The Shining. That was phenomenal. Getting to see some of the characters that they had to substitute out. There were some characters in the book I would have loved to have seen actually make screen time, but some of the ones that they substituted was still like, oh my God, we still got that on a big screen. Like, yeah. I enjoyed it. Like I said, if you're looking for the book, you're going to be thoroughly disappointed and you're probably not going to enjoy it. If you read the book and you're like, okay, like I said, take the bare bones, let's see what else can be made with it. You might actually have a good time with it. So, and like I said, it's probably not for everyone. That was one, and unfortunately, it's one of those movies that I think would have done a lot better in the theaters had the advertising campaign been better, because it did not do a good job of explaining what that movie was. So,
all they had to do was focus on the 80s.
Mm-hmm. But they focused too much on the video games, and I think that's what everyone thought it was, oh, this is just a video game movie.
They should have just stuck with the nostalgia.
Yep. So
that Blu-ray is so awesome for freeze frame. Like,
yes.
In the 80s, man, you could spend hours just click, 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 click.
Yep. That was one of the other things, because there was stuff that, all these people put out these things and they're like, oh, 15 things you missed watching it or whatever, these references. And there was still stuff that I was like, no one has mentioned this yet. I wonder if anyone's noticed this yet. Because like the thing that I pointed out was the thing that they were going for, like the big weapon that they were going for or whatever, the box sure looks like there should be a Mugwai in it. So I'm just saying, like I said, I haven't gone back to definitely check that, but it sure as hell looks like there should have been a Mugwai in it. Just saying. All right. So like I said, Ready Player One, the movie. So the book, of course, is phenomenal. All right. Ray, what's your next one?
You kind of mentioned Magic 2.0, so I don't want to bring that one up. I mean, I love the series, and it's definitely a great one. But since you kind of already brought that one up a little bit, I'm going to go with The Authorities. I enjoyed The Authorities. I thought it was a great book. I'm looking forward to more. Somebody could get through it.
Hey, so we stopped listening to it.
Yes, because you couldn't really.
It was every time we got into the car.
It's because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I really like the characters. I love the team aspect that they've got going on, and I really would like to see where they're going to go with it.
I'm still down for another one.
So, I still want this to be a Netflix series or an HBO series. I think HBO could do a really kick-ass version, especially with that opening scene.
You'd have to get HBO on Netflix. Like you couldn't get it. could be cable show. It couldn't be like
Netflix could do it, but yeah. So are you are glad that I told you to listen to it first before letting the kids listen to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The kids.
We had to tell Logan,
Mm-hmm.
and after we were explaining as best we could about it, she wanted to listen, and so she began it, and she's interested. We just haven't listened to it with her because we're listening to Harry Potter, and there's not a lot of time that we don't have Quinn with us. So it's
gotcha. Good
but
deal.
I've listened to the book. I've really enjoyed it. I think I've listened to it twice through, and then partway through a third way. So yeah,
really good. I agree. I loved it. So, Chris, what's your next one?
Incredibles 2.
On my list. I was waiting for someone else to pull it up.
Love Jack and Edna Modes, and the two of them together.
Yes.
Like I'm dead. I can't. It's so cute. I laughed my ass off. It was so funny, and it just made me so happy because you waited so long. But I like where they started from. They basically just started right where the last movie ended and went right into it. And I just, Edna Modes makes my day. I feel like I'm a little bit like her, or I want to be. I should say I want to be like her.
She's your.
She's my inspiration. Animal. And then Jack, watching, like, knowing that Jack, she calls him a polymorph or something like that. There's all these powers, and watching him have all these powers, and them trying to deal with it, and it was good, and the kids really liked it too. It was a good movie.
It was cute.
I really liked it because I really liked the original too. I loved The Incredibles.
The first movie is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I can sit down and watch that anytime.
Yeah, that and Ollie are my two favorite.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was a little afraid. I was like, I don't know. Hopefully it lives up. I've heard good things. Hopefully it lives up to what the first one was. I don't know if it's better than the first one, but who cares? It's a great movie. Yeah. I enjoyed it. So
it's a great continuation.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did it justice, and it was worth the wait. But yeah, Edna Modes and Jack together just make me happy.
Yep. Jen, what's your next one?
Okay, mine's actually gonna be a tabletop game that you guys actually introduced me to at game night. Catan. I've never played it before this year. Yes! And it was a lot of fun, and I really liked it, and I haven't played it since my game night, and I'm really sad because I want to play it again. So
you don't know how good it makes my heart feel for you to say that.
It was so much fun. But I get into games like that, so I have to really pace myself with those because I can go down the rabbit hole and you'll never see me again.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, lots of fun. Catan, highly recommend if you like games.
We played that one all New Year's.
Yeah.
That was I've got one of the expansions because I haven't played with the expansions yet.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days ago, my sons and I got the one out, but geez, like half an hour just to punch out all the pieces and stuff like that. But and then like reading the instructions and trying to figure out and explain it to an 8-year-old.
Oh yeah.
God. He's like totally zoned out and like, are we gonna play yet? Are we gonna play yet? Are we gonna play yet? Well, I don't know how this.
Well, Eugene has a really.
I just want to go back to the original. Like I know these expansions can be great, but
I'll be honest with you.
I like.
I have the Seafarers expansion, and we've only played it once or twice. There's just so much you can do with the original one, and then the fact that I've got one 3D printed, it's like, well, we want to play with the 3D printed one. We don't have enough pieces for the. We'll just do the regular one. We'll be fine. So.
Yes, I was gonna say he has a really cool 3D printed one that now that I've played that, I don't know if I could play the regular one because it just seems so basic. Yeah, but Catan, lots of fun.
Very cool. Sean, what's your next one?
I think I'm gonna go now. I haven't finished it yet, but I started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey last year. So
cool.
I think at the beginning of Christmas holidays. I just hadn't had time for it with the move and doing all this stuff in this old house. But they've simplified a lot of the stuff. Like I played Assassin's Creed right from the beginning. There's only a couple that I think I skipped because I just couldn't get into, like Unity, I think, takes place in like France or something like that. Or crazy gibberish. Can't stand it.
Understandable.
This
Yes.
Odyssey is great. Now I'm probably only about 25% into the game, but yeah, they've simplified a lot of stuff so you can just focus on the story and the gameplay more. Like, used to have to like collect a whole bunch of things and go to different shops to upgrade different parts of you. Now you just go to one guy. That's it.
Nice.
As much as you can, go to one person, upgrade, you're good to go. They're learning. It's taken them, like 17 friggin' games or something like that. But no, it's just a lot of fun. I just sit down, relax, and
just kill people.
It's that is the one thing. So my kids will watch it while I'm playing or something like that. And pretty well every conversation you go to, like someone has a little side quest or something, it always leads to, so you want me to kill them? Like, every side quest is like that. My kids are like, really? That's what they want you to? Okay, fine. Let's go hunt these guys down and kill them.
Okay.
But,
good deal.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, highly recommend it.
Okay. Let's see here. My next one, I actually had to add one to the list, but my next one, I'm kind of surprised Chris didn't put this one on hers.
I probably forgot.
The holiday season of Nailed It was phenomenal.
It was so good.
Christy and I had such a blast watching that show. I mean, we had a blast watching the original season that came out, because I think it was earlier this year when it came out. Anyway, go watch the original. Go watch the holidays. Go watch Nailed It. It is so much fun because there is no pressure. You know whatever they make is going to turn out horrible.
Yep.
But God, it is so much fun.
So funny. I love Nicole. She's great. And then they did. The kids got me on this. Logan started watching it and she thinks it's freaking hilarious. They did a Nailed It, but they did it like a craft version.
That was the last episode of the second season.
She thought it was garbage. She hated it.
I didn't. Yeah, I was like, this could take off, but I don't know if it will or not.
No, I didn't see it, but I'm like, they need to just try. I get why they tried, but the kids and I watched it, and it's one of those where they can watch it over again. But I love Nailed It. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Such a good show. Oh, such a good show. All right, this should be our last round. Ray, what is the last one on your list?
All right, I'm going to go back to YouTube channel, and I'm going to go back to hockey.
Imagine that.
Imagine that,
Good
eh?
Canadian boy.
Coach Jeremy is the guy's name. He has 2 YouTube channels, but if you search for Coach Jeremy, you'll find them both. And basically what it is, it's a how-to hockey. And so he gets into a whole bunch of different things. He gets into the actual basics of hockey shots and the different types of shots you can do, breaks them down, how to do it. And he also gets into different skating techniques, but also the profiling the skates and how it affects your skating. There's so many different aspects that he gets into. But what I liked about him was that he tries to get the average Joe to be a little bit better rather than trying to get you to be a professional, right? Like he's more about just trying to help out beginners and average Joes and kind of explaining those types of movements rather than trying to get people that are elite. So that was kind of cool. And it was nice to find him and watch his videos before I started playing hockey again, because it was very helpful, because I'd never learned about stuff when I was a kid. Right, when I was a kid, I was a goalie, so I didn't learn how to shoot properly. I didn't learn how to do a lot of the skating properly. So it was good to watch these videos and kind of get an idea for it. So you'll still catch, like, if just before a hockey game, I'll still flip one of them on and watch them before I go, so I can try something new that night.
Nice. Very cool. Chris, what is your last one?
My last one is an Instagram account. It's called The Minimalist Baker. So I don't remember her name right now, but she's a baker, and she her rule is 10 ingredients or less. It's vegan. A lot of it is gluten-free, mostly refined sugar-free. Anyways, but it's in 10 ingredients or less. She's got really great recipes. The peanut butter cookies that I just made before we got on here.
Which I have not been allowed to have one yet, by the way.
They're in the fridge. They have 3 ingredients in them. It's oats, dates, and peanut butter. And they are so good. Like Logan, who is very picky when it comes to her baked goods, loved them. And so they'll be gone probably by tomorrow. By Monday. There won't be any left. But
I'll make sure of it.
There's another recipe that I really like that's become a family favorite, and it's a Vietnamese style sandwich, and it's normally made with tofu, but she altered it and made it with cauliflower. We have it every week now.
I love the cauliflower sandwiches. It's like having a chicken sandwich. I don't know. That's the closest thing I can compare it to. But it's so good.
So she's got a website. And it's really easy to navigate. And it's very pretty, but I follow her through her Instagram account. So it's Minimalist Baker. That's the handle. Check her out. It's really simple stuff, 10 ingredients or less. If you're looking for healthier options in your baking to mix it up, and cooking too. She's got a lot of good recipes for cooking as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what is the last one on your list?
I'm going to go with a concert. I went to see Ed Sheeran in October, I think, and he was awesome, and it was definitely one of the top 10 concerts I've been to. Love his music, so yeah.
What genre does he sing?
He's pop rock, he sings The Shape of You.
Okay, I've actually heard that song.
Yeah, a lot of a couple of his songs are big wedding songs. You Look Perfect, yeah. So he's a redhead, goofy looking redhead from Britain, and
he looks
he's adorable.
Like Rupert Grint.
He was on
Game of Thrones.
Thrones, yeah.
For one episode or something.
In 2 scenes. It was the weirdest thing ever.
It was very odd.
Really weird.
People lost their minds over it, yeah, and he makes fun of it.
It was just awful.
Well, he actually made fun of himself in the show. He was like, "Oh, he's that goofy guy from Game of Thrones. Why did he do that?" Anyways, but he's a great singer, and he loops. So he doesn't have a band. Everything he plays is him and his guitar, and he's either strumming it, or he's beating on it, or he's tapping his foot, or he's doing something, but making noise. But he just makes the noise a few times, records it, and then plays it on a loop, and it sounds like a full band, but it's just him. It's very cool, yeah.
Very cool. Sean, what is the last one on your list?
I'm just gonna pull this out of the air. I'm gonna go with Venom.
Really? Okay.
I know all the can of Venom and all that, but I enjoyed it. I really wish it had been R-rated.
Yes.
It needed to be R-rated, but I think Tom Hardy did a fantastic job as Venom, and it was, other than the lack of blood, it was a fun movie. The lack of blood, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because ripping off a person's face and eating it, you'd be a little splatter or something, but no, it's very clean.
Apparently, yeah.
Close for Venom, yeah. But the movie itself, the storyline was really good. I know it wasn't following the comics too closely, but no, it was, once again, it was really entertaining, and you sit back and
I found it more enjoyable than Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Momoa was really good in Aquaman. I'm still used to seeing him as Ronan in Stargate Atlantis. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mind Venom. It was a decent movie, but yeah.
Okay. I've heard good things about it, so I may have to go back and watch it. I passed it on purpose, but I'm understanding maybe I should rent it and just give it a shot. So.
It was a good story. Tom Hardy was really good in it.
Good popcorn flick.
Yeah.
Okay.
you don't actually see Venom until like halfway through the movie, which kind of
Yeah.
But once you do, it was really good.
I like
the stays for the end credit or the mid-credit scene, I guess.
Mid-credit, yeah. I do like the way that they did Venom. That was good. So.
Oh, and that mid-credit scene once again, like Predator, is like, holy crap, they got to do another one.
Yeah. But, yes.
Good deal. All right, the last one on my list, because literally everything else has been hit. I just threw on there is Mario Party. I've had a blast playing Mario Party with the kids. I have not played Mario Party for a long time. Like I've missed it on several of the other consoles. It's just a lot of fun, especially playing with the kids. And we actually got Christy to play it with us today too. And yeah, it's just a good party game. And I wish you could go through it a little faster, just because 10 plays doesn't seem like there's more of the board that you could explore and more strategy you could actually do. But even with 10 plays, it takes an hour. And so if you set it to like the 30 plays, you are looking at a 3-hour game, which isn't too bad unless you're not willing to put in the time or you're playing with, 2 6-year-olds. So yeah, we have to at least try a 2-hour game sometime and just see how that goes. But yeah, Mario Party, if you've got a Nintendo Switch, go get it. It's totally worth it. So, that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and move into our picks and pans. Would anyone like to go first?
Sure.
All right, Ray, what's your pick and or pan?
So I'm going to do a pan first.
All right.
Pan first was the reaction to Canada being knocked out of the World Juniors. Come on, guys! Like
hockey.
Yeah, sorry. The World Junior Hockey tournament was going on. Started over the Christmas holiday, and then it just ended today, actually. So, which I'll get into that in a second. But World Juniors, the Canadians did not medal for the first time on Canadian soil ever, and people reacted very poorly.
These kids are like 16.
Yeah,
they're
so
16-year-old children.
Some of the guys, like some people would go onto their Instagrams. Pictures and leave comments that were like, you were terrible, you should have scored on, and just crap, just being crap human beings. And it's like,
these are
what?
Canadians?
Yeah.
You guys are supposed to be eternally nice and positive.
Until it comes to hockey.
Until it comes to hockey, yeah.
And you know what? It was really disappointing to seeing how many people reacted that way. The goals that in 2 goals that were both deflections that,
they're flukes.
They were fluke goals. But that being said, Finland played a great game, and congratulations to Finland because they just won tonight against the U.S.
Did they?
So they beat the U.S. for the gold medal.
I'm just so happy the U.S. didn't win.
So congratulations to the U.S. for
that's a Canadian thing too.
Yes.
I can see that. We're the worst.
Yeah, but you guys got silver, so congratulations to that, and congratulations to Russia for winning the bronze. So, but congratulations to all of them. Like it's so awesome that they were there and they were playing for their country. And let's remember that these kids are kids. So that's my pan. It's just a reaction of that. My pick is actually a fun one. It's been a long time since Mike and Sean and I have got online. And we started playing Wildlands again. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Is that, yeah. Anyway, so we found a Predator mode where you have to fight Predator.
And nice.
That was a lot of fun, and I loved listening to Sean. Shit.
That damn thing just wouldn't die.
No. But it was really cool because the way that they did the audio, you could hear him stomping by you, and your pulse gets up, your blood pressure's getting up because you actually feel like you're being hunted, and it was actually a lot of fun.
Tell you right, that only lasted for the first 5 or 6 hours. After that, it got a little annoying.
Yeah. I didn't play beyond that, so. Anyway, that's my picks and pans.
Chris, what is your pick or pan?
It was fun to watch him play that too, because all of a sudden he'd be like, "Ah, fuck, I died!" out of nowhere, because I can't hear anything. He's got his headset on, and I'm watching, and I don't know. But anyways, every once in a while, he just starts yelling, and he's like getting into it, and he's moving all around and shit. And it was really funny.
I had to try and save Sean.
I did die a lot.
Yeah, died a lot. So I have 2 picks. A friend of ours, she has this not deal with her family, but they do this once a week. They do something together with the family. They do something outside. They go for a hike. They go on a little road trip. They go and do something once a weekend. And I thought that was pretty fantastic. So I want to start doing that with us. And you know that.
So excited.
Yeah. So today we went for a hike in near our house. There's a provincial park like not even a half hour away. So we went for a hike today, and it was lots of fun. And you can feed little chickadees, little black-capped chickadees. There's bird seed left out on this boardwalk, and if you hold your hand out and you're still enough, they'll come and eat off your hand really quickly and then fly away. I have an irrational fear of birds.
Oh,
like it's
I'll be sending you the picture of her face.
Like I will use my children as a human shield.
Oh, that's why you won't watch Bird Box.
No,
that's hilarious.
There's something to it. But I was like, okay, I can do this. It's a little puffball of a bird. Like I got this. It's fine. All I kept thinking was like, it's gonna fly in my face. This little fucker's gonna fly in my face, but I can do this. It's fine. So Ray got it up.
I have a series of pictures, and one is the bird in the tree looking at Chris, sizing her up like,
yeah, I'm going to fly in your face.
Are you going to kill me?
No.
And there's Chris looking at this bird. Are you going to kill me? Then the bird lands on her hand, and Chris's face is hilarious because it's this scrunched up like, I'm doing this because I have to.
I'm doing this to be brave. My 10-year-old.
And the bird is looking at her like, are you going to kill me?
Yes. But I did it 3 times.
Yes.
And it was good.
Yes.
But
good deal.
Again, are really tight. And then the other one is, I mentioned a minimalist baker. She had a deal going on, I think, or something. If you could get one of her free ebooks of 20 most loved and highly rated recipes. So I printed it out. So I'm excited because there's desserts and main dishes and breakfasts and stuff like that. And yeah, and it was free, so that's extra special.
Oh yeah.
It's 20 recipes from the Minimalist Baker, and that's it.
Good deal. Jennifer, what is your pick and your pan for the week?
I guess my pick was that my sister was here for the holidays visiting, and it was awesome, and we had fun, and then she had to go home, so that sucked. So that's a pan, and then I had to go back to work, and that's another pan.
Yeah.
I know you're still technically in, winter break mode, but
one more day.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I've been sick for like the entire month of December, and I'm over it. I'm over being sick, and just the winter does this to me every year. It's annoying. It's dumb. So yeah.
I'm sorry, friend.
It's okay. Just trying to get my life back in order now. New year.
There you go. All right, Sean, what is your pick and or pan for the week?
Well, I'm going to go with pan that's kind of related to Ray. The amount of time I spent trying to kill that stupid predator. Oh my God. Like, Ray and Mike would I can only play for 25 more minutes because I got to go to work the next morning. Well, I didn't. So 3 or 4 hours later, I'm still trying to kill this stupid thing.
Uh-huh.
Eventually I did. And
good deal.
Yeah, I eventually did it. And the first thing I did was text Ray and Mike. Oh yeah, I finally killed the bugger. But all that time spent trying to kill it was like, instead of being happy that I did it, oh my God, I wasted so much time doing this. Horrible. So yeah, that's my pan. My pick is going to be, my daughter just had her 12th birthday yesterday. And
awesome.
One of the things they did was a candy bar for their cupcakes. Mm-hmm. So, and I got a cupcake. So I figured out how to make like a pretzel thing around it so I can get more candy on top of it. Oh,
I saw the pictures.
I did too.
Totally on my Facebook. You saw the cupcake, like the amount of candy I had stacked on this thing.
Crazy.
Just crazy. Like all our friends are like looking at it, like, because I'm like pouring stuff. Like I took way too much candy, and I'm diabetic, so I gotta kind of. Oh man, I finished that thing off, and I was feeling like crap.
Oh no.
That was cool. That's my pan.
But worth it.
Get on a cupcake.
I'm gonna eat this cupcake, go drink a gallon of water, and go for a 3-mile walk.
I pretty much had to.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good job,
And I thought those were Skittles. And I'm like, it's Skittles. Why would you put Skittles on a cupcake?
Yeah, that.
And then like I popped a handful of them, and they were M&Ms. I was so happy. And then I'm like fucking like individual M&Ms, so they wouldn't fall out of the pretzels. So I could get more on there.
Well, but they're not just pretzels; they're chocolate-covered pretzels.
Yeah, well, yeah,
The candy to cupcake ratio on that was like very low or very high on the candy side.
Oh,
yeah.
I like Deb's though. That's very.
Is that
cute.
Deb's?
That's my wife's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's like.
Well, the thing you can't see because there was the first thing I put on was like these chocolate. I don't know. They were like almost like macaroons, but they were so creamy and like huge and all that. And I like packed them all into the cupcake first, and then stacked all the candy on top of it. Well, I'm eating this thing and all that, and I'm pulling off the chocolate, and all the icing's coming off with it. So I just had cake at the.
Oh.
Do y'all have it's a Mongolian grill. It's can't think of what it's called right off. Anyway, do what?
Genghis Grill?
Genghis Grill. Do y'all have Genghis Grill up there by chance? You go in, you basically you pick, you have a bowl, and you pick like your meat and any vegetables and anything else that you want in there, and then you tell them what kind of rice, and they make it, right? Well, here's the thing: these assholes, yes, these assholes purposely put the meat first, right? Well, if you put the meat and then you start stacking other stuff on top of it, it just slides off, and so you can't really stack the bowl. So the thing is go get the other stuff, your vegetables and stuff, you put it in there first, and the meat will stick together, and then you can keep piling on the meat and make it really tall. The manager didn't care for that.
Are you getting vegetables?
Do what?
Are you getting vegetables? I can't get by that.
Because they don't do it by the pound. You can only put so much meat on there without someone looking at you and being like, "Really?" But no, okay, so
lettuce, put it on top.
Oh no, not lettuce. I'm talking about mushrooms,
carrots, or
yeah, exactly. So, I've got 2 picks and a pan real quick. My picks are, I got 4 new board games. Talking about 2 of them. One of them is Exploding Kittens. OMG, it's like $20. It is so much fun. It seems like there's not a lot of strategy until you play it a couple times and you go, oh, so that's the strategy.
With my kids.
Love Exploding Kittens. My brother actually bought the 10-player version, so you can actually play up to 10 players with this version. And instead of just seeing the future, there's an alter the future card. There's also a draw from the bottom of the deck, so that when you know someone has placed an Exploding Kitten on the top, and you go, I'll just draw from the bottom. Thank you. So much fun. We had a blast playing that over the break. One of the other games that I just got is Carcassonne. There's 3 or 4 games, if you're trying to get people into board gaming, that you introduce them with these games. Ticket to Ride. What's it called? Settlers of Catan and Carcassonne. Carcassonne, there's one little thing, one little scoring element. If you leave it out, you can play it with, like, we played it with my 9-year-old nephew, and he had a blast, and we had a lot of fun. But as soon as you start scoring fields, oh my God, the strategy on this game, it just drops out. It is so in-depth and so much fun. And my family had a blast playing it over the break. We had an absolute blast. So if you're looking for a couple more games to add to your list, Exploding Kittens for just a short, fun 15-minute game. Carcassonne, about an hour to play. Tons of strategy, tons of fun. My pan is kind of going into it, a gentleman did a review on the Matrix of Leadership that I designed and sell on the Etsy store, and as a result, I got a bunch of orders for it. Yay! Gonna make some money. My printer is acting stupid, and I have been dealing with it for the last 24 hours, and I just want to work. So I've got a bunch of work ahead of me. It's not like it's hard work. I want it to work because I'm tired of troubleshooting crap. I want it to work. So that is our show for the week, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. It really, really does help out. If you'd like to watch the show live, we do it live on YouTube every other Saturday night, roughly. Check out our Facebook group. We always post when the show is going up there, as well as our Instagram and Twitter feed. You can follow us on those things at Epically Geeky on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Where can we find you online, Ray?
Lake Life Artist on Instagram is probably the best spot. Still have some stuff that I'm working on. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so Happy New Year, by the way, and
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's been a while, so but yeah, I think now that things are going to slow down, we'll actually have some time to get some stuff done, so which would be nice.
Very cool. Chris, where can we find you online?
Here, Marginally Geeky, and the new podcast, Sustainably Geeky, which we will be doing a show next week. And Instagram at Cedar Birch Cottage, although I have no idea what I'm doing with it. Suggestions welcome, please, because I'm at a loss. And I had somebody message me today asking why I deleted all my pictures and what am I doing with it? And I don't know how to respond. I don't know.
Just write back, I don't know. What do you think I should do with
Please
it?
Please help. Yes, I should just write that back. Yes.
That would be awesome. Jennifer, where can we find you online?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Het's Gonna Be Me. And you can also find me here on Epically Geeky, Marginally Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky. And like Chris said, we're recording another episode this week. If you have ideas, let us know.
Good deal. Sean, where can we find you online? Or can we?
I'm on Facebook. I'm the cool-looking dude riding side saddle on a speeder bike. Yeah.
Nice.
Talk to me, look me up.
Yeah, I think I sent you the picture when I took the picture at Disney World on the speeder bike. I looked like a bear riding it. It was not a good.
Oh man, I wish I'd taken a picture of the crowd behind the photographer when she took that picture, because like they just come out of that Star Wars, one of those rides right there, and I must have had like 300 people staring at me, pointing and laughing while I'm on side saddle. Thing.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And as always, you can find me, my individual online stuff, whatever I'm doing, working on 3D printing stuff, designing stuff, updating, whatever. You can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.